Super Mario Galaxy and Super Mario Galaxy 2 are some of the most beloved 3D Mario games ever. And after seeing this Super Mario Galaxy movie, I wanted to experience the galaxy for myself. So I picked up Super Mario Galaxy 2, and in this weekend's video, I will be giving you my review. Let's get into it. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a very unique entry in the 3D Mario series, spanning from its development originally as a Super Mario Galaxy 1.5, it evolved into so much more than that. This game also is not a story-driven game, as Miyamoto actually didn't like the story aspect of the first one. And then, of course, it's a Galaxy game, which also just makes it unique in and of itself. So, after I beat the game and experienced the Galaxy for myself, there's three main takeaways that I want to talk about in this video. And the first one is story. So, Super Mario Galaxy 2 plays after the classic story of Bowser kidnaps Peach and Mario saves the day. And there isn't much to this story either in the game. So with that being said, there honestly isn't too much to talk about with the story because there's not much of it and there's also not really anything unique about it. But one thing I did realize with this game and even the Mario Galaxy movie recently is that for some reason, Miyamoto hates story. After watching a Beta 64 episode, shout out to Beta 64 by the way, I discovered that Yokozuki Kiyomoza, this person, one of the lead, this person, I can't pronounce his name, was the lead manager / developer of the story for Super Mario Galaxy 1. And Miyamoto didn't actually get to see the full story until the end of development because he was busy with so many other projects. And when he played it, for some reason, he did not like the story. He said that it got in the way of the core gameplay that made Mario, and that he felt it was unnecessary and it distracted from the gameplay. And this dislike for story in games translates to other Mario games too, but even translates to Mario movies. Because, I mean, one of the big criticisms for the Super Mario Galaxy movie is that it did not have a big story. And in some recent interviews regarding that, he said that he didn't see the need for a story as he thought it wouldn't be entertaining for kids. So, focusing back into Super Mario Galaxy 2, the story isn't bad. Like I said earlier, it's just the classic Bowser kidnaps Peach, Mario finds the young Master Luma looking for its mama, and they both venture off into an adventure. And then at the end, the Master Luma reunites with Rosalina, and Mario defeats Bowser and reunites with Peach, and it's happily ever after. That story to me is not a bad story in any means. It's just not unique and very generic at this point, as that's pretty much the main story for all Mario games. I mean, you could argue it does have some uniqueness to it, just because it is a Galaxy game, and you do have Starship Mario with Lubba, and you have the storybook, which I thought was great. Reading the nice story with the peaceful music about Lou and Marai as they get separated and both look for hope, that was great. But here's the thing, Starship Mario didn't really have any connection to the story, as it was basically just used as a vehicle or a method of making the level work, where you could get to the level and like the select screen and then you would fly to it. That was really all it was used for. There were some cool little things and you could venture around and go look at different power-ups, but it was very small, and honestly, there wasn't much to it and didn't really implement much in the story, and Lubba didn't implement too much. I mean, he did implement into the storybook, but other than that, not much. And yes, I thought the storybook was great, but that storybook has nothing to remotely do with the story of the game. Okay, yes, it mentions Lubba, but still, it does not tie in at all. It's just a little book you can go read and has no connection to the story at all. Okay, maybe I'm being a bit too harsh on the story since, as Miyamoto said, he doesn't really like it, so obviously, the story was not a main focus for this game. And overall, the story isn't bad, I just wanted something different and more story, which we'll talk about why kind of more story in a little. But overall, like I said, the story's fine, it's just, I wish it was something new, something fresh, and yeah. Welcome to today's side quest, aka my new thing that I'm gonna be doing in my videos to add more uniqueness and stuff. So comment down below if you like this idea, and some ideas would also be useful. Anyways, today's side quest is best world and galaxy in Mario Galaxy 2 versus worst world and galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy 2. And my favorite galaxy is Melty Monster Galaxy. The level design and atmosphere of this galaxy is by far the best. Gameplay was awesome and the vibe was great. Pair that with one of, if not the best soundtrack in the game, it made for a memorable and amazing galaxy. And my favorite world is World 5, with a extremely close runner-up with World 6. Overall, World 5 just had most good galaxies out of all the worlds. There are a few that I didn't like the Upside Down Galaxy. Overall, it was just amazing. And World 6 was also very close. It was actually home to the best galaxy. It's just, it didn't have as many good galaxies, and there was some that I didn't really like. And now, it's time for the worst galaxy in world, in my opinion, in Super Mario Galaxy 2. And the worst galaxy award goes to Boom Moon Galaxy with a runner-up of Starshine Beach Galaxy. The Boom Moon Galaxy was honestly just annoying to play with the darks thing and boring to me. It was honestly just really not enjoyable, and I didn't really find there to be much, and it felt very generic and repetitive, so yeah. And the runner-up, Starshine Beach, which you would expect me to like, because it's actually kind of like they try to do kind of a more open sandbox galaxy, but it's mainly just a big blank area with some star bits you have to collect, and there just wasn't much to it, and I kind of found it annoying trying to travel on the water. It was just frustrating. Overall, they're not. Both these galaxies I wouldn't say are bad in and of themselves, but compared to all the other galaxies in the game. And my least favorite world has to be World 4, as it has the most galaxies in the game. It was very bland, and most of the galaxies I did not enjoy that much in that world. So it gets the award for Mario Galaxy 2. Worst world in Mario Galaxy 2. Alright, now back to the main quest. Next up, let's talk about gameplay and level design. Super Mario Galaxy 2 has the approach of Mario games like Super Mario 3D World, where you have different worlds and then different levels within those worlds. Almost kind of like a digital board game when you're in that area, because you have this kind of like selective path of different levels you can go into, and then you go in those levels and you have the actual gameplay. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, you have 6 main worlds and then galaxies within those worlds. And you go in the galaxy, and your only objective in that galaxy is to collect a star. Along the way, you'll do some platforming action, defeat enemies, maybe even a boss. There are some little extras like comet medals and one-up mushrooms, but other than that, the objective is pretty simple. And sometimes there's also hidden stars, but the only issue is that if you collect any star, you're booted immediately back, which differentiates from 3D World, because at least in 3D World, I guess your objective was just to get to the end, but at least if you collected a star, you weren't booted back like in this game. So here's my thing. I really don't like that approach. So I honestly think I was spoiled with Mario Odyssey because that was the first 3D Mario game I played. And going back to this approach with after playing 3D World and Galaxy 2, I honestly don't like it. And honestly, it's just kind of because this game is not story focused. It's gameplay driven and all that focused, which I'm glad they focused on gameplay because we love the gameplay. But comparing it to Mario Odyssey has a great story, even though it's basically the same as this game, and at least they kind of implemented it better. In Mario Odyssey, you have these big open levels that are all cohesive. Yes, there is the Odyssey and there is the little thing to go to the different kingdoms, but it's like uncomparable, honestly. It's just so much more cohesive and immersive. And I mean, I don't hate this. It's classic, it's iconic at this point, but it's just nowhere near as immersive. And even though the focus was gameplay, with this design, I feel like it's not as good gameplay, kind of. Which, I mean, I think they had to do it because, if they took Mario Galaxy 2 and did that in its current shape at least, what they had for Odyssey, it would be very confusing. Kind of, because it just wouldn't work. So I get why they had to do this, but if they implemented a story, they could have made it, but okay. But actually focusing on the gameplay within the galaxies is very good. And I think the galaxy aspect, which we'll talk about in a little bit, really elevates and adds uniqueness to the gameplay. Mario's move set is really good in this game, and once I got used to the motion controls, it really added another aspect to that, and I think this makes it very unique. And overall, it was very fun when it came to gameplay. This game also has Yoshi in it, which I loved him in this game, gobbling up the different fruits, which gave him different abilities, and what he added to the gameplay was very good and very unique, because I'm pretty sure this is the only 3D Mario with Yoshi. Don't quote me on that, but I thought he was great. Another thing that I love in this game that I wish they would do more is power up. I guess kind of like in Odyssey, because it's not on this level type of design, they didn't want to do it, but I love the power-ups in 3D Mario. I think power-ups in 3D Mario are so good. My favorites were probably Drill Mario and Cloud Mario. Beautiful. Adds a ton of uniqueness and elevates the gameplay. I don't see why they couldn't do it in Odyssey. I think, oh my word, that would be so good in Odyssey, but it was so good in this game. I loved that aspect of it. And this game also had some very good boss fights. My favorite boss fights are probably the mech in the beginning, and then there's also one with Bowser Jr. where he's in like this big robot. I forget what it's called, but that's probably my favorite. I'll put it up on screen. Oh, it was harder, but oh my goodness, it was just so fun, and the gameplay was very interesting. And also probably I'd say third after that is Bowser himself. He was pretty good. It was kind of repetitive because you do it a few times, but overall the boss fights in this game, they weren't anything special, I'd say, but overall they were very good. And kind of talking more about difficulty with that, I found this game to be a bit too easy. I don't like games to be too hard, but I felt that this game was too easy, and oddly enough, there are these things called Prankster comments, and they basically add like a timed or a new level to an existing galaxy, and I found those to be harder than basically anything else in the game. But hey, at least they did that to add, extra replayability, and I think that's really good about this game. Now, another gameplay aspect that they implemented was the 2D, 3D aspect, where basically it's 2D Mario, but with depth. And while I think it's a cool idea, and I don't mind it, I think they did overdo it in this game. Apparently, this was again Miyamoto's idea, but hear me out. This is a 3D Mario. I want it to be 3D Mario. I don't want it to be 2D, 3D. I just want it to be 3D. I don't mind having it. I just think they overdid it. Because there are several galaxies. Some galaxies that it was completely 2D, which I found to be a bit annoying. But it wasn't that bad. So yeah, overall, if we're just focusing on gameplay within those galaxies, this game has great, if not top-notch gameplay with the Galaxy aspect, but I didn't really like the level approach with Starship Mario and all that, but it was still very great overall. And lastly, let's talk about the Galaxy aspect. This game is very unique from any other game because it's a Galaxy game. The Galaxy is the main point of this game. Flying through space on different planets with different gravities, shooting with the stars, collecting starbits, the different types of gameplay through the different types of planets and the different gravities. This is the main thing, and this is why I love this game so much. It is by far my favorite part about the game. Whether it be the different gravity, like the one mission where you have to grab on to the different gravity stars to float your way to the end of the course, or like the Bowser boss fight where you have to orient yourself with the gravity to fly those balls at him to defeat him. All of that is what makes this game a Galaxy game. And despite all of its downsides, the Galaxy aspect is what redeems it and is honestly, in my opinion, the peak part of this game. So yes, this game has a lot of downside, but at the end of the day, it's a Galaxy game. And through all those downsides, it still shines. So yeah, that is my review of Super Mario Galaxy 2. Overall, I really enjoyed this game. I'd give it about an 8 out of 10. Now, the main point is I did have quite a bit of downsides, but I think it's a very well-rounded game. Honestly, the reason why I probably wouldn't rate it higher is just because beyond the Galaxy aspect, it's just kind of a solid game. There was nothing that really stood out to me or really peaked besides the Galaxy aspect. So yeah, I give it an 8 out of 10. I still really enjoyed it. I still would not put it above Odyssey. I think Odyssey is in a whole nother ball court from this game, but it's still a very good game. Playing through this felt so nostalgic, even though I didn't originally play this game, but I grew up with the Wii, and this game came out in my childhood, so it was such a fun time replaying it. And I don't know, just the vibe of this game, this might sound weird, but just the vibe of this game reminded me of my younger childhood. I don't know why, but I really love it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. If you like this type of content, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank y'all so much for the support y'all been showing me lately. At the time of filming this, we are very close to hitting 80 subscribers and so close to my 100 subscriber goal. Thank y'all so much. This truly has been a blessing. So I'll see y'all in the next one.